Hi, hier ist Marlin von MoreCore. Ich bin hier mit Marcus von Northlane. Wir quatschen jetzt ein bisschen über das neue Album Obsidian, das nächste Woche rauskommen wird. Marcus, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
My pleasure.
First off, these are some exciting weeks for you. How are you doing? I mean, you realized you released your new single Carbonized a few weeks ago. But yeah, you've also played your first two shows since 2020. How does it feel like?
Yeah, it's a wild feeling to be back and yeah, just doing it all again. I mean, it's exciting. It's been a long time coming for us, at least for this album to come out. It's been like a year or so since we've recorded it and had to push it back a couple of weeks as well in terms of its release. And yeah, it's all just getting very exciting and a bit scary, I guess, putting new music out. But playing shows again was such a good feeling, such a good reminder that, I mean, we're still a band and doing this thing and still enjoying it. So yeah, I mean, it's all just an exciting time and it feels like everything's getting back to normal slowly. So yeah, exciting.
Oh, that's great to hear. How did it feel to play the new songs live for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really wild. I feel like we've been really lucky the last couple of album cycles where people have picked up on the new songs pretty quickly and started, singing along and reacting to them very, very soon after the release. And even with Carbonized only being released a few days before our first few shows, yeah, people were singing it really loud and really enjoying it. And it seems like it's all just working well, like it's translating well into the set with the old songs, and yeah, it's just feeling really good.
Nice. I'm really getting into the mood right now. Yeah, as I was preparing for the interview, I realized it's been like over a decade of Northlane. I mean, I discovered Northlane shortly after Discoveries. I mean, you weren't even in the band at that point. And yeah, I realized you guys have been through so much. I mean, Adrian left, you joined the band, several shifts in sound, you had some trouble making the last two records. And like every musician in the world, you've also been hit by Corona. How does it feel to be here after all, to make music, to play shows, to put out a new album? Yeah, how does it feel like?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, even now, even though I wasn't with Northlane when they started, I've been with the band about 8 years now. So it's been an awesome journey. I mean, I'm sure for all of us, it's been just been great that we've been able to do this as our career and our job, and that we've been able to maintain this for so long. And I mean, yeah, I think just with this privilege and this opportunity to be able to play music around the world and write music that people can sing along to and relate to, I feel like it's just whatever the world throws us, we just got to kind of take it and get back on the horse and just do what we enjoy doing. I feel like for me, like performing live and playing music and writing music is such a big part of my life and such a big part of maintaining my sanity. So I feel like no matter what happens, whatever I can do to kind of keep doing that, I'm going to do it. I think that's the same for everyone in the band.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Yeah, you've not only got a new album coming out next week, also, yeah, Discoveries turned 10 last year. Singularity is going to turn 10 next year. I mean, they were not like your records, but have you guys got anything planned for the 10-year anniversary of Singularity? Because I feel like that one's the record that like put you on the map.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if there's any plans necessarily at this point, just because getting back to shows anyway has been like kind of uncertain. So as we're just slowly getting back to it, I'm sure maybe something might come up next year, but for now we're just like focused on making sure that the shows we have at the moment go ahead and that our plans to just kind of get back on the road go ahead. So, but yeah, I mean, don't count anything out, I guess. But at this point, there's nothing kind of set in stone as like a anniversary plan. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's talk Obsidian. I've actually got a really good transition here because I think some weeks ago you guys posted like a meme on your social media channels, the one with the pyramids, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was really really funny. For those of the viewers who haven't seen it, it was like there were some classic pyramids representing Singularity and some kind of futuristic space-like pyramids representing Obsidian. And I was just wondering, were you guys doing that, yeah, just for fun, or were you messing around with the haters a bit? Because I think there are still some people still not over Adrian and Singularity and still wishing for the old sound, like every band has. Why did you post it?
Yeah, I mean, there's still those hangers on, but I mean, it wasn't really any dig or anything like that. For us, it's just, yeah, I feel like for a lot of people and for the band even, you know, Singularity represents a certain point in Northlane's career when they were still, you know, doing well, but kind of still figuring out where they were going. And then I guess, Obsidian represents the future. But also, I can't remember who it was, if it's Lil Alien or MoreCore.TV. There's these two people on Instagram who just make Northlane memes all the time. And I don't know, pretty much they never miss. They always it's always so funny. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably reposting Lil Alien memes like at least twice a week. So yeah, for us we just thought it was funny and just a funny little no dig at anyone, but yeah.
But it seemed a little bit that way, but one way or the other, it was just really really funny, and I enjoyed it. All right, let's dig into the album. I've had the chance to listen to it in advance, and I've got to say once again, that's another great record added to your discography. And it felt like a great blend of some old elements and many new elements. They were like I always felt like the Northlane DNA flowing through all of the songs. There were some sections that reminded me also of Node and Mesmer, which was also really nice. But you've evolved this sound of Alien kind of to a whole another level, and there were so many unique moments of the on the album, like I don't know, the second half of the track Xen, or also Nova, which is kind of like a standout in your whole discography. It blew my mind a little, and I was wondering, how did you approach writing Obsidian? Were you just trying things out and let them happen, or did you draw a lot of inspiration from other artists?
Well, I think instrumentally, John kind of does draw a lot of stuff, you know, from like late 90s, early 2000s electronic and dance music, and even just like kind of pop in that era as well. But yeah, I don't know. I think at this point as well, with Alien kind of starting to experiment with the electronic sounds and these new kind of things that we hadn't done before, and people like enjoying that. I think that just gave us a lot of permission to experiment and go even deeper with that with these songs. I feel like the any fear of kind of going too far in the electronic element or trying something a bit too crazy isn't there anymore. We can kind of just do what we want to do. People are gonna enjoy it, or at least understand what we're trying to do. But yeah, I mean, lyrically it's kind of a bit different, but in terms of the sound, I think we've really kind of found that area of like the heavy electronic kind of crossover that we want to be in, and I guess from now it's just experimenting with that even further.
Yeah, it works really well, especially I think in the first track you really caught me off guard, because I was expecting like a whole different song, and then in like 1.5 minutes you just go straight in. That was really 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 cool.
Even with that first song, with Clarity, I feel like that kind of feels like a song that encapsulates all the different sounds of Northlane over the years. Like even back to Singularity in a way, with the kind of opening song that's a bit faster and a bit heavier and riff and stuff, but then crossing that over with these synth sounds and I mean it's something a bit of everything.
I don't know if it's like your department, but choosing synth sounds, sometimes can like be a whole thing. As a musician myself, I kind of know it, that you can sit around for hours and you've got that sound in your mind and you're searching and searching, going through libraries, but you don't find it. At which point do you add the synths to the songs? Are they built around them, or do you start with the riff first?
Well, yeah, I think that's with John. That's his department. But as far as I know, I mean, it can just start from anywhere. I mean, for some songs, it might not even be in his mind that it could be a Northlane song, but he might start doing this modular synth thing and hear a riff in it, and then be like, oh, okay, well, maybe this could work as a Northlane song. Or he might be playing around with just some melodies and stuff, and then want to play a riff over that, and then build synths around that further once the bones are there. But I think for John, it doesn't really, there's no rules there. It's kind of just whatever works and what he kind of hears in his head, and specific sounds from, I guess, the kind of music he listens to or like wants to kind of send the sound in. But then I guess like he's also, like you said, he can be spoiled for choice, where there's so much he can do, and he can try to do so much and get really lost in that. So I mean, I think everyone has that problem when making music. You just get lost trying to find a sound. But for him, I guess there's no starting point in particular.
Okay, cool. Let's talk a little bit more about Nova, because I was like really intrigued by the song. How did it come together? What were the inspirations for that one?
Yeah, well, John sent that one quite early in the process, actually, before maybe like 6 months or earlier, before we started going to the studio. And I mean, that one came together really quickly. I feel like that gave off a very Moby kind of vibe to us.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, that just, from there, I guess I just tried to write some vocals that kind of fit into that melancholy kind of vibe that the instrumentals setting. I mean, for a lot of these songs, I think the sounds and the lyrics are quite dark and depressing. So I think it all kind of reflects and goes off each other in that way. So
it's really interesting. Another great transition, because I was heading to the lyrical content of the album right away. The album is like about everything that's wrong with the world, and looking back at the past 3 years, I think you've definitely got a point here. As I was going through the press release of and all the material for Obsidian, something really stuck with me that you said about the song Echo Chamber, which is about social media and internet. There was like a statement from you where you were saying something like people are addicted to raging over small problems and making a big thing out of very small issues. And at the same point, there's like so much chaos going on in the world. There's like the pandemic, climate change, wars, Ukraine, Afghanistan. There's so much going on. And it really stuck with me, because I'm confronted with this here in Germany like every day. Like people are complaining about wearing masks and corona restrictions. We still have to discuss issues like gender identity and racism, because there are some people who are still not accepting that people are taking more care of each other in these times. And yeah, I'm confronted with it in Germany every day. And you describe that feeling of that you sometimes wish you'll turn deaf, which is like a pretty heavy image.
Yeah.
But I could really relate to it because I'm confronted here in Germany with it every day. Is the situation in Australia somewhat similar? Are there any specific situations that came to mind when you were writing Echo Chamber?
I mean, not specifically for Echo Chamber, but I mean, for that song in particular, yeah, there was definitely a feeling of like I understand everyone's trying to just like get through all these tough times, but I guess it'd be a lot better if people put that energy into something positive as opposed to like just spreading negativity and kind of patting each other on the backs, telling each other how sick their opinion is. I mean, that was kind of the idea for Echo Chamber. But the title track itself, Obsidian, that kind of touches on that same feeling of I don't know, everyone just only really looking out for themselves and not looking at the bigger picture, and just like the kind of detrimental impact that has on kind of everything. And I mean, looking at like coronavirus and like millions of people dying every day in India, like when that was happening, when people were just like burning bodies in the street and stuff. It was like scary stuff really to see in 2020 or whatever year it was, and just be like how many, I don't know, the last 3 years of 2020.
It's been much.
Pretty much. But yeah, there's just been so many things that show that people are only really looking out for themselves and only really trying to get themselves to the finish line, and at the cost of everyone else, I guess. So it's a weird time we're in.
I've really got like the feeling that people are losing perspective of everything, and I don't know if what I wanted to say, I don't know if like the internet is it can be like somewhat of a help to know what's going on in the world, but somehow people are raging in the internet. It doesn't make any sense for me. So crazy.
I feel like there was a time when I was younger, but like, like 10, 12 years ago, when like I would maybe get home from high school or whatever and be like, check the news, and something maybe bad had happened, but it was like, okay, I can kind of wrap my head around the news today, and then at some point just so much stuff started happening and like you just couldn't keep up, and as good a tool as being informed and keeping up with the news is, like, can be quite exhausting and
of course
like kind of depressing and sad to see just in so many different areas of the world and in so many different ways people are just attacking or hurting each other, and it's tough.
And it's kind of quite of a really heavy feeling to like sit here in our privileged countries, and we're like, okay, I mean, you've got the flood and climate change and everything, but compared to like Ukraine or Afghanistan, you wouldn't want to be there right now.
Totally, there's so many people have definitely got it a million times worse than I do at the moment, but I mean, everyone still feels this weight of everything going on, and no one really knows what to do, especially with no real like, no one really seems like they know what they're doing. There's no real guidance from like leaders around the world. There's nothing really there. It's just kind of find your way through the mess, and it's a rough time.
Definitely. How does it feel now afterwards? Now you've written Obsidian, you've channeled a lot of this like negativity into that record. Was it kind of relieving, or
not particularly, to be honest. I feel like this album, I feel like at this point now I'm feeling better, but I'm not sure if it was necessarily because of writing the songs on Obsidian. I feel like at the time of writing the album, I was, in a quite a bit of a rut and feeling very doubtful of myself and feeling a bit guilty about some of the songs I'd written on Alien, just because I'd had like family members who were quite upset about some of the stuff I was talking about, which I don't think's fair, but yeah, I just kind of was like, I don't really want to write about that anymore. So for me, I feel like there was just all this uncertainty and also with a lack of inspiration of not really being able to tour and play shows and just live a regular life. It's just kind of, how much can I really just talk about how I'm depressed? Which, you know, there is a lot of songs on the album that touch on that kind of stuff, but I mean, it was kind of then trying to find other things that people could also like relate to that made sense, whether that be stuff in the world or whatever going on, people's mindsets and stuff. But yeah, I mean, so I don't feel necessarily a relief of having written these songs. I just kind of feel a relief now, feeling like I'm feeling better as we're moving towards getting back to the real life, to the real, and just that I'm feeling excited about, playing shows and stuff. So
that's great to hear. That's really great to hear. I'm really happy for you. All right, I've still got some questions about the team with you, the team of people you worked with on Obsidian. Was the first album with only 4 band members, and because Alex left some years ago and Brandon too. How did it affect like making compromises in the band? Was it easier, or was there a pair of ears missing? How was it to work in a group of 4 people?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I don't think there was necessarily any difference in compromise or anything like that. I think that Northlane's always been a core of, like, you know, John writing the instrumentals, and then you know, me working on vocals, but then kind of getting outside opinions from everyone in the band, including Brendan when he was in the band. The only like compromise thing I feel is like now we're just one different vocalist down, but I feel like that's just with the time I've had to kind of work on some different styles and stuff. I feel like we've just slipped back into, you know, just feeling like a natural band and feeling like a 4-piece that's working well together. So I don't think there was anything that changed too much in terms of writing.
Are you performing also as 4 people, or do you have an additional bass player on stage?
At the moment, we're just a 4-piece with bass on the tracks.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about the production of Obsidian, because I also think there was like a huge step forward from Alien, and Alien was already really well produced, but I feel like Obsidian has a bit more clarity, and it's really well balanced, and it has so much energy. There were like moments, I think it was on Abomination, where like this kick comes in and it feels like there's someone banging against my brain, but in a very positive way. There was so much energy and pressure, and the vocal production and also your performance, they were so on point, and it's kind of crazy to see you evolving even more, because I saw you on the tour with Parkway Drive in 2014, which is like the first tour you did. And I was already thinking at that point, okay, that guy, he's really got it. And now we're here 8 years later, and there's Obsidian coming out, and just nailing it even a bit more.
Well, I mean, in terms of the team and all of that, it's pretty similar to the team we had on Alien with Chris Blancato engineering, and then this time I did the vocal production myself. I was a bit like I've loved everyone we've worked with vocal wise, but I feel like I've recorded my vocals at home for a really long time before Northlane, and I kind of just know exactly how I want them to sound. So when you kind of
Okay.
pass it off onto someone else, and they might just do things that are slightly different, and no one would probably notice except for me. I can just hear these different things. But I guess that also just gave me time to really focus on the performing part of, like, on the performance side of it, without having someone be like, okay, now sing that over 20 times. I just like, no, I don't need to do that if if I found a take that I'm happy with and like want to move forward with, then don't like waste your time doing all this other stuff. Like, I think that's good for, when you're starting out and stuff, and if you're not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure of what I wanted to do. Then from there I went on to Nolly for mixing, and Ermin, oh my gosh, my dog's barking, Ermin Hamidovic for the mastering as well. And they worked on the last record, Alien, and I think just having this team back together again as we push this sound forward has just meant like everyone knows what the sound is and everyone knows what we're trying to achieve. So I think just this time around we were able to kind of just polish up things that we just maybe weren't too sure of, or weren't sure what we wanted to do with Alien's mix and stuff.
Yeah, that would actually have been my question. So it was like a natural evolution of sound here.
Yeah, because I feel like when you do work with, especially on the mixing and mastering side of things, you work with people again, like they understand how that sound has kind of grown and changed, and know the kind of things you want to hear out of it from, the hundreds of emails we would have sent last album, changing little things. So like they know what we want to do. So for sure, there's definitely that evolution. We've all kind of grown together.
It was really present on Obsidian, and we've still got some time for some more questions, if you'd also like.
No worries.
All right. You're releasing Obsidian under your own label, which is also like a premiere, I think.
Yeah, it's not necessarily its own label, I guess. Like, it's independently released and then kind of released through Believe, who I think they kind of operate in Australia and around the world as well. So, but it is a self-released album, I guess.
Okay. Were there any specific reasons for that choice, or is it really no big thing at all?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we just kind of thought, like, considering, I mean, just the experience we've had as a band on a label and kind of working with all these different people over the years, we just kind of thought it was time to move forward as our own kind of little unit and try to, I guess, do it ourselves. I mean, just in terms of, I feel at some point you can kind of just get away from the label format of things and start doing things your way, and I guess see money go directly towards the band, and just kind of help kind of the whole band as I mean, it just felt like the right thing to do. I mean, so nothing really crazy, I guess. It was just at this point in our career we thought it was time.
Nice. It's so great to see so many good things coming together on this record, and now with things going back to normal, that you have got this base from where you can go straight into the world and show what Northlane are in 2022. And I'm really happy for you. All right. I've got one last question about the Carbonized video. We were talking about so much of the album, but not on the videos, because you released some really great videos. The video for Echo Chamber was also really great. But the Carbonized video, it kind of had like a Matrix kind of vibe. You were wearing like a similar outfit to Neo in Matrix, and the use of the color green was also very present. What was Matrix an inspiration for that one, or were there like
big time inspiration? I think just as the band is kind of moved forward and grown. Like Matrix has always been one of our favorite movies. Or even just the trilogy itself has always been like a big fan favorite in the van for us. So I mean, we just kind of feel as our music has kind of moved forward and changed, it kind of has had this parallel to that kind of era of like visual and pop culture, I guess.
Yeah.
So for us, we're just kind of interested in recreating like a rave scene type shot or rave scene type video for this music video. Which also there's a song on the album Cypher, which is also Matrix themed. It's meant to be like from the perspective of Cypher from the Matrix. So for us, I don't know, Matrix has just kind of seeped into our into our music and into our like visual side of things. So that's just, I don't know, we just kind of love that style.
It's a really cool video. But interesting thing is you said the Matrix trilogy, so that means you didn't like part 4, or you haven't seen part 4.
Okay, so I've seen part 4, and I've already gone in. This will be the second interview I've done where I've gone into the Matrix and talked about the Matrix. But let me set my opinion. I feel like with all the Matrix movies, you have to like, you can either see what's on the surface and what's in front of you, or you could dig deep and kind of get into the finer details of everything. Which also I feel like is something that is parallel to our music as well. But that was just something that we found with the original trilogy was like, there's one tour where we didn't have speakers in the van, so we just watched the Matrix with subtitles. And just being able to
sound?
We might have had like one pair of headphones, so like one person could listen.
Oh my
God. We all just kind of watched it, and just being able to like read the dialogue and understand what they're saying a bit clearer was actually like quite mind-opening. As dumb as that sounds. But yeah, I mean, I kind of really enjoyed the newest Matrix. I thought it was like fun and a bit like wild. The only thing I didn't like was I thought the action was a bit not as wild as the classics. Didn't have that.
Maybe also not that surprising anymore, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the little nostalgia trip though, for sure.
That's a great story. Like watching Matrix just with the subtitles. I gotta try that. I really gotta try it. If you say it's eye-opening.
You learn a lot.
All right, we're slowly moving towards the end. How do you feel about going back on tour, and especially when it comes to touring around the world? Because I think you've only got dates for Australia in the middle of the year, but
we'll be announcing some more stuff. I'm not sure when exactly it'll all fall in the year, but we're definitely trying to get back to the US and over to Europe again at some point this year. So hopefully shouldn't be too much longer, and hopefully everything works out. I'm really excited to get back to touring. I mean, I'm a bit nervous having been away from it for so long and having gotten comfortable at home. I feel like I'll probably get homesick quite quickly. That being said, like I said earlier, I mean, I'm just so excited to be back playing shows, and something that I really need to be doing in order to be like feeling like I'm doing what I should be doing. So I'm really excited, and I'm sure there'll be lots of plans now that we can get back to it coming out soon.
Nice. But you're gonna miss your dog, I guess.
A lot. That's the thing. I'll miss my dog, I'll miss my cat, I'll miss my partner, in that order.
Totally understandable, totally relatable. All right. Are there any bands that you are excited to see live maybe this year, or a band you'll tour with? Because I don't know how much you have been to concerts in the past 2 years. I don't know how many artists could come to Australia in the last 2 years.
It's been quiet, I guess. So I did get to see, like, we had that festival, but a few weeks before I got to see Polaris and Alpha Wolf play which was really cool. After so long not seeing a band play, that was really good. And saw Trophy Eyes the other night. But I mean, going overseas, I'm excited to. Or actually, before that, Sleep Token are coming to Australia in June to play with us on our Australian tour, and I can't wait to see them play. That's going to be really crazy. But I mean, I'm just excited to be amongst the atmosphere again and just seeing people enjoying music and hopefully hearing new music that I haven't heard because I've been locked away for 2 years. Yeah. I mean, there's millions of bands, not millions, but hundreds, a lot of bands I would want to see live. So I'm just excited to get back out there.
Nice. I hope you have a really great time this year. And that's it. That was everything. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. We wish you all the best. Have a great tour. Please stay safe and healthy. And bye, Marcus. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Have a good one. See you later.